right, well, good morning once again, everyone. Welcome to NADA 2026. How's everybody doing? Good, I like that. Okay, so if you don't know, we are already on the move. We are already on the go. Now, most of you have paddles out in your hands, right? All right, there you go, good. All right, here's what we're gonna do, because it's all about fun. It's all about high energy, high octane. This is the automotive industry event of the year. So we're gonna make sure that everyone else knows that, all right? I've got my camera here, and this is gonna go really quickly. So here's what I need everybody to do first. Turn it to the green side. So find the green side, because we are all gas, no brakes. Green side, all right. And then what I'm gonna do when I press record, I just wanna hear you. I just wanna hear you make enough noise that they can hear us in the other hall. Is everybody ready? We're gonna do this in 3, 2, 1. NADA Live 2026, let me hear you! Over here this side, don't know that, oh, come on. Boom, that is what I'm talking about. We are shifting gears, we are having fun, and we are making sure that we are gonna get everything that NADA has to offer for 2026. How many people were in New Orleans last year? I'm glad we left the snow there. That's all I have to say about it. If you weren't, you would understand why I'm so excited. It took me 36 hours to make a 4-hour trip last year. So I'm super excited to be here this year, back in Vegas again. There's a ton of things to gain. Make sure if you haven't already, download the NADA Show app. That way you can make sure that you don't miss a thing, and you can also make sure that you get to where you're trying to go, because there's some great directions to help you find locations. All right, with that being said, we're gonna keep it going here on the live stage. So with that same energy that you just used, I'd like you to help me in welcoming up our next guest. So please give her a round of applause. Let's give her a hand for Sega Woku from TikTok Automotive. They didn't. They did
a good job.
They didn't hear it. I said give them the same.
Right.
We're gonna try this one more time. All right, just stay right there. You don't have to go all the way down.
Gotcha.
Okay. I know you guys can do better than that. She's a guest in our living room, right? So we're gonna try this one more time. Okay, we're gonna try this one more time. Let's make her feel welcome. Everybody ready? All right, so let's give her a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome up Sega Worku from TikTok Automotive.
Thank you.
There you go. Stage is
Awesome.
yours.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Like my host said, my name is Sega Worku, and I lead the automotive vertical at TikTok. And this is such a precious moment for me, because I actually started my career on the NADA floor over a decade ago with one of the channel partners sitting here. Shout out to Turnkey. All right, so for today's presentation, I want to start out with a simple observation. The shopper funnel is moving faster through traditional funnel. They're learning, they're comparing, they're researching, they're building confidence before they show up on your showroom floor. So today, I'll walk you through what that journey looks like on TikTok, and what dealers can do to show up earlier, build trust faster, and earn the visit. You got your paddles out, so we're gonna go on to the first question. Let's make this a little interactive. For our first question, do you think car buyers only come to TikTok for entertainment? See some truth in there. That's right. This is false. Car buyers might come to our platform to be entertained, but for auto, entertaining brings them in and intent takes over. People start using our platform to learn, research, and get a decision faster. Let me show you how that shows up in real behavior. Introducing Car Talk. This is not passive scrolling. Behind me is shoppers actively figuring out things in real time. When you look at Car Talk, you look at research and questions. First car, mom talk, electric car. What are they gonna do next? What matters to them is the intent that comes with it. This helps them decide the communities they're gonna interact with on our platform. And the platform becomes their shopping process. Which brings us next to assumption. TikTok only influences the top of the funnel. True or false? All right, I see some green there, but a lot of reds. That's right. This is false. Here's what's changed. Shoppers don't separate content from commerce anymore. Discovery happens, then research, then they do comparisons. Shortlisting can happen right after. Now I'm gonna put some numbers behind it because we know dealers love numbers. So this is our new road to purchase. First, discovery. 75% of our shoppers say they discover new vehicles on the platform. TikTok is often where they get interested, it sparks the moment, and someone says, I really need to look into that. Once the spark hits, people move right into research. 80% of our shoppers research vehicles on TikTok. Research today looks like quick, high signal learning, walk arounds, real owner point of views coming, what I wish I knew, pros and cons of buying this vehicle, and clear feature explanations. TikTok loves to learn about the text in every vehicle that's displayed on our platform. Then the mindset shifts from do I like it to which one's right for me. So this is where we go into comparison. 38% of shoppers on TikTok compare vehicles on TikTok. This is where shoppers pressure test the trade-offs, right? We're talking about features, value, brand, and is this a real fit to my life currently? I'm a mom of two, and I own a Mercedes GLC, and I'm constantly going to TikTok to figure out, am I gonna switch to EV, or I'm gonna stay in gas because I really love the Tahoe currently. But of course, my child is 7 and is very interested in the Cybertruck. And sorry if there are any Tesla members, I'm probably not gonna be driving a Cybertruck next year. So then we'll say we get to the shortlist moment. And this is a number that's really important. 51% of our shoppers select their vehicles on TikTok. This might be shocking to you, but it happens every single day. If you show up here with credibility, clarity, you're not just chasing the shopper later with constant advertising. You're meeting them while they're deciding right then and then. So what is TikTok doing for the shopper emotionally? 3 signals that explain why this works. 80% of TikTok says TikTok builds confidence in their knowledge about vehicles on our platform. 81% say it increases interest in new brands. And we love this because we're a team of conquesting. This is all about conquesting, so make sure you understand that our platform helps you become a conquest driver as they're discovering new brands on the platform. And 79% say it helps them identify the right vehicle on the platform. So we're not talking about awareness anymore. It's decision support at scale happening here. Now here's where it gets practical for our dealers sitting in the room and our agencies that are supporting them. 82% of TikTok shoppers say dealership ads are extremely to moderately helpful. That tells us shoppers want dealer information when it helps them actually make a decision. They're not anti-ad. I hear this all the time. Like, they don't like all the car ads. That's not true. They're just anti-wasted time because you're fighting with a ton of For You entertainment on our platform. So what do they do next when they feel helped? They look at test drive reviews, explore dealership promotions, they read dealership advice from their peers and other creators, and they actually search for local dealerships on the platform. Which leads to a truth about creative. And I'm just got here first day and we're already talking about creative from the elevator to all the way down here. So I'm really excited. And I'm gonna ask this question back to you, so get your paddles out. The best performing dealer content doesn't feel like an ad. True or false? Should be easy, guys. Should not be seeing any red. That's right. When it feels like commercial, people move on the platform. And when it feels like help, people actually lean in. So, what makes people lean in? That's trust. You have to build trust. And here's how trust gets built. Trust is built through storytelling on the platform. It's a mix of, it doesn't have to be fancy, right? It has to be human and specific. Who this trim is for, what people ask about payments, what to know before you come into the dealership. That's when trust actually turns into action. Shoppers know exactly who they trust. They trust auto enthusiasts, they trust auto experts, they also trust brands they're loyal to. But they trust everyday creators that are creating content on our platform specific to the auto industry. And you're thinking, okay, what do they trust? Not only who, but what do they trust? They trust short form video. It's easy and quick to capture. They trust car companies and car comparisons. They trust recommendations and tips and advice. So your content lane is clear. Short, comparative, and helpful. Make your content the moment someone says, okay, I get it now. That's the car. Now let's connect that into performance. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to tier 2, tier 3 advertising, even tier 1, we're talking about performance day in and day out. Here's a structure. POV is simplify choice, build trust, and then drive action. The tools are automotive ads that are supported by Smart Plus. And if you don't know yet, please make sure you get with our teams and your channel partners, because auto ads is performing really well, and we have fantastic case studies that we can walk you through. The result is stronger performance and higher quality leads. Great content earns attention, and Smart Plus helps convert that attention into measurable outcomes very efficiently. So let me land this with a simple idea. Car shopping is personal on our platform. People are imagining themselves in the driver's seat before they step into your lot. Our job is to show up in that moment and make the next step really, really easy for them. And now I want to bring out the experts, because I'm sure you're sick of hearing from the platform side. So we can actually talk about the real life work and how that's impacting your dealerships and how your agencies are making it even more easier. So please help me bring on our panelists, and I'm sure they're going to need a much bigger applause than the ones we did earlier. So come on in. All right.
Here we go.
Wow.
Introduce you. You ready?
Yeah.
Awesome.
What a dream to be up here. What a dream to be up here. What a dream to be here.
All right. Well, I'll try to make sure that we can get through all the questions, but I can't promise anything because you've heard from these three guys, and they have a lot to say. Okay, I'll start out with introductions. Say your name, tell us where you work, your role, and what is currently on your For You page.
All right, so my name is Art Pier. I'm the VP of Media Strategy at C4 Analytics. It's a fancy title for a not-so-fancy guy. I grew up in auto and grew up around it, so excited to be here. This is the Super Bowl. And what's on my For You page? So dad jokes, the first thing. Lots of dad jokes. And then Vines, the old school Vines. And it's probably because I bought fresh white Vans. So now it's like, damn, Daniel, back at it again with the white Vans.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's what's on the For You page.
Love that.
Yep.
All
Good one.
right.
Yeah. Kevin Butler, VP of Audience Strategy and Activation at Cars Commerce. Basically, just means I lead our media network as well as our audience operations for the media network as well as Dealer Inspire. What's on my For You page right now? It's actually a lot of dads.
We connected on that.
Dads of TikTok, girl dad, everything you can think of about just following the memes of kids and their dads. So,
Good deal. Hey there, John Fitzpatrick with Force Marketing and our family of brands. We have a brand called WeDrive that helps in the mail, email, and text space, and then acquired Gulf States Marketing back in 2001 from Gulf States Toyota Distributors. That handles all of our retention business. We're helping dealers figure out how to have customers for life. So everything that we're doing is all around customer lifetime value and bringing the best data and tech that we can to the forefront. On my For You page, a lot of motivational speakers. I'm big on that. Cooks and different recipes, so we can look at how to cook in different things of that nature, and then different plays. So I'm coaching my 10-year-old in basketball right now, and so we've got different play sets that we'll be watching from other 10-year-old AAU teams.
I love that.
Yeah, it's good.
Community for
Good
everyone.
engagement. Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, well, let's get right into it. Is everyone ready?
Let's do it.
Awesome. So most dealers have a big creative team and any video to start. What's the simplest way a resource-strapped dealer can see real results on TikTok, and can auto inventory ads work with just an inventory feed and photos?
You need a phone and a hook. That's it. You need a phone and a hook. That's really, you don't need a full creative team. Because you talked about it earlier, it's about trust, right? Building trust on this platform. It's short form videos. People want to see the feature, options, benefits of the vehicles. They want to see the screens. They want to see the massage seats. And they want to understand the value that they're going to get by purchasing that vehicle. So you got to show them that, right? You really have to show them that. And you have to show them that in your voice, right? In your dealership's voice.
yeah, no, I think completely agree with that. If you're doing video creative, it's got to be, you said it earlier, lo-fi, natural, that's what really resonates on the platform. But you also mentioned automotive inventory ads, which we think is definitely something that's going to be big for TikTok and also for our customers. So it's because very limited resources needed. It takes your normal feed, images, as well as all the information, and that definitely is driving impact and driving action post-exposure. And you couple that with also partners that have good audience data, that you can then connect both the context that's very engaging with highly receptive customers based off that data, and you got like a win-win situation there.
Love it.
Look, everyone at your dealership should be on TikTok. Every single one of them. Why? Because when we buy cars, we buy from trust in someone that we know, right? We know that about this business. It's the referral business. Oh, I know someone that works at ABC Toyota, whether they're in sales or service. Well, imagine if that sales or service individual was going all day, every day, TikTok, come to me. If you're thinking about you're buying your next car, we're walking through the selection. It is part of the daily process.
Yep.
Why? Because our audience is there. The audience is on TikTok. Pull away all of the political crap, okay? TikTok. Think about it. Look around your living room. Look around any Gen Zer, which by the way is absolutely spot in for customer lifetime value, right? You're thinking about it, someone that's 14 to 29 years old. They're on TikTok. They're on it a lot. I got to tell you something. I use TikTok a lot. It's hard to admit. It really is, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, I am a major user. It started out, I need to figure this thing out, but it turned into so much more. It's addicting.
Yep.
It's addicting. And so I would say the quicker that auto can really lean into this is understanding it's not one person at the dealership that's tech savvy or that's younger. It's everybody.
Yeah.
And when we get there, watch the power of what TikTok can do. And by the way, you don't believe me? Look what Google did. Look what Meta did. Fill in the blank.
Yeah. I mean, guys, and we keep going back to this whole like Gen Z demographic, but our largest growing demographics are the millennials and the boomers. The amount of 50 plus users on the platform that I am engaging with right now is probably really scary. And I am 2 seconds away from seeing my mom on there. That's my biggest fear.
She's on there now. She's just not telling you.
All of our growth audiences are on TikTok.
Yeah. Yep.
So yes, there's massive opportunity to scale, but you also think about women, Hispanics, African Americans. It's where all of our growth audiences that we need to be intercepting with our messaging are right now, and it's only growing. So.
And they're using it as a search engine.
Yep.
They're using it as a research search engine to see if that's something that they want to then go search either on Google or on Perplexity or on ChatGPT. And they're using trusted voices, and you can be that to influence them.
So it's just such a big part of the horizon, and really excited to have you guys. Okay, so beyond views and likes, because this is really important to dealers, what proves TikTok is driving tangible business outcomes for your dealers?
Well, you got to use the pixel. We've got to track conversions, right? Because ultimately, we've got to measure whatever platform, insert platform here, based on business KPIs for you, right? We've got to move more metal in this zip code. We've got to use our pump in, pump out reports and our sales by zip to understand how the impressions are then driving traffic to the site and then driving action on the site and then ultimately driving leads and sales. So we've got to use the pixel, and we've got to use smart AI plus, right, campaigns to target folks using TikTok's amazing audiences.
Yep. And I completely agree with that. It's driving VDP views, driving site visits.
Yep.
Anecdotally, we work with a large dealer group who actually had people coming into the store referencing their TikTok ads that we are running for them as part of a reason for their visit. So obviously it's a sample size of one there, but the proof point for them is causing to be like, yes, this is working. It's giving us a net new audience. That's also big too, is the unique reach that we're not reaching from Meta and Google, because this is a scalable, unique audience.
Yeah, we think about all of this in 4 A's. We think about audience. Certainly you have an audience that's untapped. We think about attention. Where is that attention of said audience? And when you think about, as a dealer, think about audience, sold, never service, service, never sold, high APR, trade-in value, all of the different segments inside of your audience, DMS and CRM. And then think about where's their attention being spent. Once we figure that out, how do we automate? You guys have now figured out how automation can work, which was something we challenged you with a year or two ago, right? You came back to the table, you said, all right, here we go. We can now scale. And then attribution's the next one, right? If we're day trading in attention, then we should be working as, just like your wealth advisor, hey, we got to move from one stock to the next. What I'm seeing is that just start with $1,000, right?
Yep.
See, you'll quickly see that needs to be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and it blows me away that still today in 2026, you have a first mover advantage on TikTok.
Yep.
Think about that.
Yep.
A first mover advantage on TikTok.
Yeah.
In the auto industry.
From
Big deal.
discovery to purchase.
Big
right?
deal.
That's the whole thing. You get the full funnel.
I mean, it's exactly why we see it as, well, that's why we're your first channel partner, right, at C4, because we see it as the ability to show ROI, right? And that's ultimately what you guys need back, right? 50% of my marketing doesn't work, or 50% does. Which 50%? Well, now we can track it. Now we can track it.
Love that. This is a paddle question. A
All right.
persistent myth is that dealers' customers aren't on TikTok. Based on what you witness, what's the single biggest misconception dealers still have about the platform and its audience? So, for the first part, your customers aren't on TikTok. True or false?
Oh, it's a red.
Just the all red. Okay. And then for the second part, based on what you witness, what's the single biggest misconception that dealers still have about the platform and its audience?
It's about engagement. It's about engagement only, right? You can't measure it. And I need to have a crew. I need to have a salesperson, to John's point. Like, I need to have a salesperson that's tech savvy, and he's going to run that for me. And it needs to be content all the time. It needs to be funny content or whatever. No, you need to talk to your buyers. And they're at different stages in the process. And they have different voices, right? So we need to meet them where they're at. And you don't need a film crew to do that.
Yeah, and just what you said there, just how pervasive it is.
Yep.
The audience isn't there. Well, we know the audience is there. So we tap into our cars.com audience and push it into TikTok, and how much scale that we have there to operate for both Dealer Inspire and for the Cars Commerce Media Network. The audience is there. And like I said earlier, the growth audiences of women, Hispanics, multicultural, Gen Z, millennials now too. Everything is scaling and growing.
Yes.
It is there. So I think that's a big misconception that we definitely work with our partners to overcome.
I can't figure out why more and more dealers are not telling us absolutely we need to be on TikTok. I'm telling you, I can't. That's just my honest answer. I can't figure it out. The data supports it. It's now scalable through your product offering. I cannot figure out why $1,000, $2,000 a store, and if we're being honest, we spend that in pizza on a Saturday for fixed ops.
Yeah.
We're not talking about a lot of investment here to get a massive audience.
Yeah.
I can't figure out why it's not a no-brainer. Yeah, John, turn that on. And it requires, well, let's figure out a business case, or let's figure out, what are we really trying to get out of that investment? And the metrics are there, the attribution model is there, the buyers are there.
Yeah.
Jump in and go. Let the machine work. We did it again. We did it with Google. We've done it. We're doing it with Amazon. We're doing it with Meta. All of these other media partners that provide an audience are there. But for some reason, we're hesitant on TikTok.
Yeah.
Creative is not your hurdle.
No.
It's not your hurdle. Creative is not the hurdle. Don't let it stop you from finding ROI on the platform, because we can use AIA. We can use created content with your phone. A phone and a hook. That's all you need.
And guys, you said this earlier. Where we started 4 years ago, when you started testing TikTok, is not where we're at.
Oh.
We've become very efficient, right? The platform has done a fantastic job of giving you that efficient result that you're looking for. We've opened up signals, and we've also, to your point, made creative a lot easier, so it should not be a hurdle. And maybe it's an NADA 2026 effort. So
Should be.
hopefully all your dealers will be on the platform after today.
We'll try.
All right, next one. Consumer discovery has changed. With so many buyers now using TikTok as a search engine, how must a dealer's marketing strategy evolve to meet this new behavior?
Features, options, benefits. Like, show them the vehicles. We know, all of us in here, know that car buying is an emotional process. I have to see myself sitting in the massage seats or heated seats, see myself using the 12.5-inch screen, see the leather seats, see the black on black, and I'm talking about my car too much, but I have to see it. So show them that, right? It doesn't have to be, the funny TikTok stuff. Not saying that stuff doesn't work too, but it doesn't have to be that. Meet them where they're at, show them the vehicles, the features, options, benefits. Is back to that. Follow the process, like you guys all know, and talk about your vehicles. Talk about why to buy from you. Talk about why to buy from you.
No, and back to social search. I mean,
Yeah.
the consumer journey or how they research, how they shop is changing. Social search, AI, everything that's happening it can be scary, but it also presents a lot of opportunity. And you need to figure out what is that holistic media plan, that marketing plan that you're doing to intercept those consumers, that audience, wherever they are in their consumer journey.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part. That you need to make sure you're there.
The search component's interesting, right? Because if I think about my own user interaction with the platform, and we were, learning different recipes, right, to cook as a family, right? Which one might sound better than the other. Well, now, when we want to cook something interesting, we're not going to Google for the recipe. We're going to TikTok.
Yep.
So at what point does that behavior go, well, wait a second, I want to start looking at this vehicle that I saw in the pickup line, right? Because I know that's where my wife gets all her ideas. She's like, the pickup line, this, that, and the other. By the way, myself too.
Yeah.
I do the drop-off, she does the pickup. And so, and that you're sort of interacting in real time, and then you jump on, and you're not going to Google to ask that question. It's more comfortable to ask the question and interact with the folks on TikTok. Why? Because TikTok is going to serve that to you. Instead of the advertiser having to find the audience is finding the advertiser. Think about how powerful that is. And I think that's the piece that we're missing here, where we're getting caught up in like TikTok and all of the headlines that TikTok has had, and we're not realizing that the audience is there, and they're growing every single day. And that's what I'm passionate about seeing where this is. By the way, it doesn't make a difference to us when we're analyzing a dealer's budget where it is. All we care about is what the data looks like. Where's the investment dollar giving the ROI? And we're going to advise that that's where it shifts. The media outlet, no offense, it's irrelevant to us. It's just whether or not the investment is there. And so as we think about day trading attention for all of our hyper-local marketplaces, I think it's really important that this is something that you consider.
And it's our job at Tier 3 to create demand for our brand. And then you capture it using search, right? So we have to create demand where they're at, like you guys talked about. And you talked about
Where the audience is.
Right, where the audience is, and you talked about the full journey, right? Nobody looks at one ad or one video and then gets in their car, drives straight to the dealership. It is a journey. They're gonna be on TikTok, then they're gonna see your AI ads on Meta, and then they're gonna search for you, then they're gonna see some CTV ads. So they have to see you in all these different places so they can create trust with you.
Love that. This is the last question. 2 minutes at the buzzer. 1 minute at the buzzer. To end this, complete the sentence for me. Ultimately, TikTok helps dealers win because
it drives performance. It drives performance. It's going to drive VDP views. It is going to drive leads. It is going to drive sales. It drives performance.
Yeah. For me, it reaches an untapped audience. You aren't reaching many of these people today. So it's bringing you front and center, intercepting them where they are engaged. Because again, you're highly engaged when you're on TikTok. So I think that's the biggest thing. It's the audience that you need to be reaching.
I think it's simple. I think it's what we're all searching for. It's connection.
Yeah.
I think it's that simple. Don't overthink it with, it's got to sell me or help me service cars, or I'm overanalyzing one metric over the other. Ask yourself, can you connect better in your hyper-local marketplace through the audience platform that is TikTok? If the answer is yes, try it out.
love that. So you guys heard it here. We have performance, we have the audience, and we have the connection. So hopefully we'll see a lot more dealers on the platform. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Fantastic.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.